Okay. Oh wow, that was lovely. Welcome back to my reading. Oh, fuck. All better now, no runny nose. I'm fully nourished, so there's not going to be any issues today. I mean, I guess I think the script was so bad it just made my nose run and it completely ruined my digestive system. That's my theory. But we're gonna to recap. Wonder Woman is the way she's written here. She's basically second banana in her own story. It's this story. The story starts out. Yeah, the story starts out being told through Steve Trevor's point of view, which is already a red flag. Wonder Woman does I've gotten up to page, as you can see, I've gotten up to page 47, and Wonder Woman has barely done anything of note. Like she's barely done anything that's just memorable, and it's her fucking movie. It's her fucking movie. And she's been treated by every character like some kind of annoying sidekick. She's basically Rob Schneider in this movie. And there's a lot of cheese. There was one part where she walked in to confront her mother about some shit, and she walked, like, all these animals appear out of nowhere, like panthers following her around, and hawks are flying in. It's the dumbest shit. It's just so dumb. It's the worst. It's the absolute worst. It's the dumbest. All right, so with that being said, we're going to continue on with this shit. I'm going to try not to rage too much from this. Ugh. Oh, yeah, and like from where we just left off, there's this person, I don't know, one of the villains called Callus, who's talking to this other villain called Strife. He's basically this demonic god. I don't really give a fuck. But it basically all their material thus far has been really boring. It doesn't go anywhere. You don't really care. I just power right through it until I get to some Wonder Woman cringe. So yeah. So anyway, we're gonna get back. I think we're right in the middle of that in the middle of that villainous conversation. So let's get back to that. Okay, Callus, one of the villains, says zero casualties. Kind of unsportsmanlike, don't you think? And then Strife, like he's some kind of demon or whatever. And that's what makes this the most difficult to read, because I'm just imagining some demon guy wearing Levi jeans walking around talking to regular human beings in some dungeon, because they didn't really there's no real description of how Strife looks. So it's like I'm almost imagining him as like Ultron from Age of Ultron. Except he's wearing blue jeans. But whatever, moving on. And Strife says, Where is she? Where is she now? And Callus says, you'll know when we do. We don't need any unknowns. If today's test goes well. And then Strife interrupts him, saying, it will. The Chimera has hungered for shit. He said, it will. The Chimera has hungered for this for a long time. And they step into interior, the silo continuing. A large space, we can tell by the echo in their voices, metal, roundish, but the technology has an ancient organic edge to it. They stand on a walkway looking at something. Callus says, the Chimera, I guess that's what it says. The Chimera is a machine. It doesn't hunger. And Strife says, you profess to worship and you deny my master's magics. Your technologies will only take you so far, Mr. Callus. And Callus says, the age of monsters is over. Strife says, is it? Is it really? Oh, okay. As he says it, the camera pulls back to reveal the head of the Chimera. We see little more than a metal shape, the top of which resembles a cross between a lion's head and a massive rock drill. Okay. Clearly filling the entire silo, the thing writhes and spews fire. Maintenance machines arm out from the wall or crawl over it insect-like. We catch just this glimpse, and the exterior above the city, day. We see Steve's plane as it flies directly over Spearhead Tower, heading for the airstrip outside of town. And interior plane continuing with the Diana sits next to Steve and looks out at the enormous panorama. Her brow is furrowed. Steve says, what do you think? And Diana says, it's overwhelming. And Steve says, oh, well, it's to turn back. And Griffin says, sticking his head between them, pretty sure it is, Captain. Go away. Is your tray table in the upright and locked position? Really? Oh, God. Oh, then Griffin goes, just get us on the ground, man. We need sleep. He slips back to the others. Steve says to Diana, you probably don't. You probably don't. And Diana says, sleep? I have to see the city. Just show me where we'll be staying and I'll go from there. And Steve says, I'm not sure I like you wandering Gateway all by yourself. And Diana says, I'll be fine. And then Steve says, no, I'm kind of afraid for the city. Okay, then we go to exterior, the city, daytime. It's a packed street, but Diana still steers the frame. She makes her way through the downtown business throng, looking at everything and everyone intently. More sociologist and sightseer. A burly guy bumps into her and spins off like he hit the corner of a wall. She doesn't even notice. He rubs his shoulder, glaring. Camera arms down as she approaches to show the enormity of the buildings above her. She looks up at them. She looks up at them too, but not in awe. As she continues through the city, we see various POVs and tableaux. a three-story toy store with a Ferris wheel inside. A homeless man pulling food out of the trash can next to kids being hustled into a chauffeured rolls. Oh, facade advertising live nude girls. A barker outside beckoning. passes, someone shoves a flyer into her hand. She looks down at it and, appalled, looks around to give it back. Various outdoor food stands, Mexican, a hooker in an outfit skimpier than Diana's, who stares at Dinah, asking, "Oh Lord, oh God, oh God, here we go." And the hooker says, "Who are you supposed to be?" Oh God. As badly as I thought. Exterior street, afternoon. Clothes on Diana, looking in wonder and a little fear. Reverse to see her in front of a storefront bank of TVs. On the TVs is a little news report: overseas war and atrocity bigger than life. Is in a kind of hypnotized shock. Why? we track back to see the TV display is monstrously huge. Dozens of screens, each image the same horror, with the cherry bright gloss of a commercial. Diana steps back into the street, and a guy pulling out in a convertible zigs around her, calling out. The guy says, "Watch it, stupid bitch!" Oh, lovely. Now, usually people, like when you almost get ran over by somebody, the person usually just says, "Watch it." Normally they don't go straight into the insults. I mean, it is kind of a movie trope where as soon as someone gets caught in the street and they're obstructing traffic, there's some dude who says, hey, watch it, asshole," or "Watch it." Like, but this one seems kind of tacky to me. Like, did they really need to go there this soon in the story? All right. Okay, without looking, Diana reaches back and grabs the side of the open convertible. Uh-oh. As she turns, she pulls its tires smoking as the driver tries to pull away. She holds the car in place and looks down at him. "What did you say?" And before he can answer, pain from across the street, Diana looks up at Angle, the alley opposite, where a 14-year-old boy is having his arm twisted by a dealer. Boy says, "It's all I got, I swear." And the dealer goes, You think you can hold out? Get yourself some nice shoes." And the boy says, "Ow!" And Diana lets go of the car. And Diana says, "Leave." And the guy says quietly, "Thank you, ma'am." He guns it, and she starts across to the alley. The dealer continues to shake the kid, really hurting. The dealer says, You think I don't got filthy kids want to take your spot?" And the boy says, "I didn't lift nothing." And the dealer goes, "Now you calling me a liar?" And Diana goes, You're hurting. She's maybe 20 feet away, almost silhouetted by the light of the street. The dealer says, I'm gonna hurt you next. You got in my business." And Diana says, "Let go." And the dealer goes, "Oh, what?" She whips the lasso out and cuts his cheek in a dazzling flash. He's grabbing his cheek and stumbling back as it's already coiled at her hip. She approaches, passing the fleeing kid. The dealer pulls out a gun and starts firing at her. She deflects 3 shots, closing the distance and kicking the gun high in the air. And Diana says, understand something. She catches the fallen gun without taking her eyes off him. Diana says, continue. I don't like these. Like, okay, we get it. It's fuck, all right? We get it, okay? I mean, even Batman in his old age, you realize that, hey, sometimes you need guns to protect yourself because, shit gets hairy sometimes. Wait. Fuck. She tosses it aside, taking a step toward him and his feet, and they stumble back against the wall of the old building, and the rat scurries across the other way. The dealer says, You got no right. I'm just protecting my interests. And Diana says, what are you doing here? It's legitimate. You're aggressing me. She whips the lasso around his neck, and Diana says, what are you doing? And the dealer says, I'm just standing here minding my own crack dealing. What? Wait a minute, what? Okay, look. I know he has to tell once the lasso of truth is wrapped around him, but you couldn't find a better way. You couldn't write a better line for that. I'm just standing here minding my own. Oh, fuck. I'm just standing here minding my own crack dealing. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, let's see how this concludes. And the dealer says, continued, No, I sell crack and guns. I also run whores sometimes. Oh, no, I mean, he says deflated. And that's what I mean. Oh my God, this is terrible. This sucks. I want to jump up my own ass. This is terrible. I don't mean it. I don't know what, who, where. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not feeling this at all. And Diana says, there's others like you. And the dealer says, are you kidding? There's hundreds. Gateway got a lot of needy people. And Diana says, who do you work for? And the dealer says, I pay up to Joey Gibb, but it all makes its way to Clean. Clean? It's Clean's world, and he's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me, and he's gonna kill me. He finds. Diana says, "Who's Clan?" Wait, hold up, shit. And Diana says, "Who is Clan?" Angle his feet as more rats, like dozens of rats, are scurrying up from the basement grating of the old building. Diana looks up as they mill about, his dancing feet squeaking up at her. Why the fuck are there a bunch of rats collecting at this dude's feet? I don't get that. Yeah, that sounds dumb. The dealer says, I'm afraid. And Diana's, oh God. Diana goes, so are they. Interior, moments later. Op 5 is watching a bank of video feeds while the war room bustles about. Callus watching over it all calls out. The tech guy says, 45 seconds. Tech guy 2, back to Callus. Chimera's beat the projections by more than a minute. Fuck. And she damage green across the board. Operator 1 says to Callus, we got geologists, structural engineers, all camera ready, building not to code, seismic tremor, they're well rehearsed. Okay. Callus says they better not sound it. And Operator 5 goes leaning forward. The hell is that? Callus moves toward him swiftly. Callus says, "What's going on?" And Operator 5, someone's on the site. And then Callus looks at the monitor, a monitor that shows the lobby of the building. Diana was outside. It's old and decrepit, with a few tired-looking folk hanging out in the lobby and a manager behind the counter. Diana is literally shoving people out of the building. Diana on the monitor. "Everybody out now!" And Operator 2 calls out 30 seconds, and Callus says, "Where's Strife?" And I have no idea what's going on right now. And interior building lobby continuing. Diana has a few bewildered people shying out the doors to the manager. Manager says, "Lady, you need to come down." And Diana says, "How many people are in here? We have to get them out." And nobody's getting out of anything. And Diana goes, grabbing him, "This building is coming down." Like, how the fuck does she know that? Is it because of the it's because of the rats? How the fuck did... I just don't understand how she knows that. Or maybe I wasn't paying that much attention. How she knows the building's about to come down. Whatever. He looks at her, freaked, and she tosses him back against the wall in frustration. It's for the stairs. The room deafeningly groans, shuddering, and the floor sags visibly up the wall. The manager looks at Diana for a second, then smashes the fire alarm glass and pulls it. Racing out, the alarm blares. Diana heads up. Interior, second floor, continuing. People are already coming. People are all. Holy shit! People are already coming out the apartments. Whores, junkies, and other poor families. As Diana is moving up, Diana says, "Get out, more!" The building again, and she moves up the next flight. Interior, third floor, continuing. More people moving frantically, and people from the top floor as well. Diana grabs a man pulling his big screen TV out his door. Okay, so this has got to be in modern times. I don't remember anyone having a big screen TV in the 40s. So she tosses him into the throng. Into the throng sans TV. Diana says, "You have no time." And the building jolts and lurches, plaster smoking up in the air. Smoking up the air. The staircase going down collapses. People scream. One woman is on the stairs, and Diana whips out the lasso, flicks it around the falling woman's wrist, and swings her to safety. Swings her to the safety of the second floor. The people still on this floor, about 8 of them, look at her in terror. Diana, continuing, "Up, across the roof into the next building. Go!" They start to move as unseen. They start to move as unseen in front of the frame. The floor balloons up like a Strife begins to appear. Okay, brief intermission. I gotta do something right quick. Be right back. All right, I'm back. Back and ready to party. Okay. All right, where did I leave all that? Oh yeah, they hustle up the stairs, and Diana sees the staircase. They hustle up the stairs, and Diana sees they start to give way as well. She jumps on the banister below, one leg out against the wall, just as the staircase snaps loose, and the entire thing starts to come down, with most of the people still on it. Her arms and holds it, straining to push it back up. She gets it close so the people can start going up. And a blow to the kidney nearly topples her. She can feel the stairs and her precarious purchase against the wall start to give. She looks around to see Strife lands a second blow. And Strife says, "You are getting in the way." She still is the stairs. Exterior roof continuing. We see people racing out of the fire door across to the other building, which is connected and easily reachable. Interior, third floor, continuing. The last person is stumbling up the stairs as Strife whips out and comes at her from behind again. The moment the stairs are clear, she crouches down and dumps her and her on the top behind her right on top of Strife. She smashes up through them just as she reaches him with crippling punch of her own. Ugh. She like sometimes there are words missing or there are things misspelled, and it just makes it hard for me to read. And she reaches him with a crippling punch of her own. They spar briefly, then he grabs her wrist to block a blow and stares, suddenly awed at her bracelets. Strife says, "An Amazon." He knows that by her bracelets? Whatever, I'll buy it. The floor falls out from under them. Interior lobby continuing. A two-story plummet led... Fuck. A two-story plummet lands them back in the now tilted lobby, beams and debris falling all around them. They both roll right up, facing each other, but too much stuff is collapsing for any fighting space. Strife dives at Diana, rolling with her so that they are both wrapped in his cloak, and the bubble effect comes suddenly, moving them probably to exterior snowy mountain range day. They roll out and face each other again, Diana taking in the gleaming, the total contrast to her previous environs or whatever. Strife has his sword out, and the two of them moving warriors. Two of them move slightly, circling warriors ever. Okay, whatever. Strife says, "Do you know me, Amazon?" And Diana's like, "Every girl in the tribe hears tales about Strife. His strength is legendary." Feels her mouth, and clearly mere legend. He smiles at the barb and comes in for a burst of violence. His blows parried barely by Diana. She gets in a decent hit. They part again, circling. "A little more fire in you than the others. Where do you get that?" And Diana says, "From my mother." Strife goes, realizing, "Hippopotamus." The Amazon's princess. After all this time, I was there when they bound those bracelets and sucked out the Amazon's power. Sucked out? like he isn't he supposed to be this ancient being, and he's like out the Amazon's power. That doesn't sound anywhere near that. Yeah, that sounds really dumb coming out of it. Yeah, he's supposed to be this hot shit ancient being, and they got him talking like he's just any other person. That's kind of dumb. They sought out the Amazon's power. Okay, whatever. The shame of it. Your mother was right to run and hide. And Diana says, well, you know all about hiding, or is your name still feared in this new world? That one doesn't get a smile. He comes at her hard and slices her, nasty blows and tossing her back. Strife says, stay out of my city, princess. You're well out of your depth. And Diana says, am I? And Strife goes, believe me. Oh, is this really supposed to be threatening dialogue? Does this really count as badass dialogue? I mean, I don't know. This is really lazy writing. It reads like something a 13-year-old boy wrote in his spare time. This doesn't read like a legitimate movie script at all. Alrighty, let's move on. And she charges him this time. She charges him this time, but he rolls her onto another teleportation jump and tosses the interior lobby. Continuing, just as the building's about to collapse completely, the noise and dust sudden and palpable. Okay, whatever. Strife says, you can't take the pressure. He disappears. The building collapses on Diana's bedroom. Night. Okay. The room is tiny. Diana lies face down on the bed, naked, over the edge, a sheet loosely over her lower part. Steve gently sponges off her wound. Why the fuck is she naked? I mean, I get it. You gotta take off people's clothes sometimes you gotta take off people's clothes to clean them up. Wounds and shit. But like, she's completely fucking naked? Like, completely? He didn't try like put her in any of his clothes or anything? I don't know. It just seems really creepy. Okay, Steve says softly, you should let me call Sully. Diana says, oh hell. And he picks a tiny piece of concrete out of her back. It hurts, but she doesn't show him that. And Steve says, tell me about Strife. Like, how does he know about Strife? About Strife. I know about Strife. And people seem to, like, who aren't in the fucking scene seem to know shit that I mean, he wasn't there to witness any of this shit. See, like, he was like left behind, and she went to go save all those people out of their building. Well, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me at all. I don't know how he knows about Strife already. Like he was in the. Okay, Diana says, He's well named. Of all the gun, he is the cruelest. His uncle, his master, is Ares. And Steve says, not please. Ares, god of war? As in war? Diana says, almost to herself, if the gods are dead, why is Strife here? And Steve says, the city's infested with ancient Greeks. This strife probably rolled in the same tide that it's supposed to be the same time that brought you, I guess. This strife probably shit. This strife probably rolled in on the same tide that brought you. Every action has a selection. And Diana says, but why Gateway? He called it his city. And Steve says, there's an old saying. You want to see the world? Go to Gateway and walk 10 blocks. This really is the international hub of the country. Anybody with power is got a base here, Diana says. And you brought me straight to it. And Steve says, under protest. Diana says, do you think it's all a coincidence? Truly, the signs are all around us. You don't think I'm here for a reason? And then Steve says, I think you're dangerous. I think you mean well, but you're looking for trouble and you're wildly adept. I think you've got delusions of grandeur and some actual grandeur, which is confusing. I don't like confusing. The fact that I'm so attracted to you, just touching you is overwhelming. And I keep hoping you'll turn around so I can see more of you. Oh! A teenager wrote this. No way a grown-ass man over the age of 20 wrote this. This is so fucking childish. Because I'm sure this is supposed to be because I'm guessing this is supposed to be a moment where we're supposed to feel like the romance and we're supposed to feel the romantic tension and the sexiness and all that. But look at the way it's written. Who the hell thought this was who the hell thought this was a good idea? I mean, we all know who did, but who thought this was? How could anyone think this is sexy? It's not. He's basically chewing her out while she's butt-ass naked right in front of him, which, by the way, shouldn't even be a thing. She should at least be in because that's only polite. If you undress someone and clean them up and dress their wounds and shit, you gotta give them another chance. Butt-ass fucking naked in his fucking bed. And now he's like, I can see you naked. It's not creepy enough. It's not weird enough. You're the one. He's the one who put her in bed naked. So who knows what happened when she was passed the fuck out? He could have squeezed a titty for all we know. We don't know. Oh, let's just keep reading it and see how far. Let's see how bad it gets. I mean, it's already bad. Let's see if it can exceed my expectation. He stops, even more confused than he is. His jaw sets and he reaches down, pulls the lasso out from under his butt. She tries not to show her smile. Oh, so he was on the lasso of he was sitting on the lasso of truth. That's why he sounded like an idiot. Okay, that's a good explanation. That's the perfect explanation. Because truthfulness equals stupidity. That's why he sounded like a fucking kid. Because he was being honest. As we all know, when men are honest about their feelings about women, it's always filtered through a 13-year-old boy. The fuck. Anyway, Steve, continuing, says, Can we not leave this lying around? Toss it, and he tosses it in a chair. There's a reason men don't like to talk about their feet. Oh God! Oh, it just keeps getting worse. Oh. There's a reason men don't like to talk about their feelings. Their feelings are lame. What? Oh, I hate this. I hate this. I fucking hate this. Oh, y'all better appreciate what I'm doing because it's killing me. I hate this shit. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It sucks so much dick. And Diana says, I think they're fascinating. And Steve says, men? And Diana says, people. You were right about this city. Just one day here and I've already seen everything. Steve says, not everything. Oh, no. Oh, no. Diana says, such extraordinary achievements and such idiocy over and over and over the same. Wait, let me read it again. Such extraordinary achievements and such idiocy and over this, over and over. The same look on people's faces. How do we look? And Diane says, lost. Like somewhere inside you all know this isn't good enough. The inequity, the violence, it's beneath you, but you've been in it so long, you can't remember. The whole city, Steve. No one ever looks up. Why the fuck would they look up? Yeah, no one ever just looks up randomly at the sky. No one takes the time to look up at the sky. Just to look up at the sun, and it's just in any random moment. Because that's totally normal for a bunch of people to just randomly look up at the sky for no reason. Yep. I mean, I know she's probably talking metaphorically, but I don't give a shit. For all we know, she's being totally literal. Anyway, Steve says, and that, let me guess, is your mission. Oh, because we got to have this dramatic moment. Remember, she's naked. I just went up out of bed. Just remember, everybody, she's naked. And Diana says, our mission, tying the sheet around her and going to the mirror in this tiny bathroom. She washes blood off her face as they talk. So she had to be naked when she first got up, right? Because they said she was tying the sheet around her. Not that she didn't already have the sheet around her. So, okay, maybe she wasn't. But I wouldn't be surprised if the script didn't go there. And she got up at random and she was butt-ass naked. And they turned it into some kind of doink scene. Just some kind of silly-ass, just some silly-ass slapstick scene. Whatever. Okay, Steve says, I don't remember volunteering for anything. Diana says, you of all people know how things should be. And Strife is proof of that. He has a mission. Never doubt it. If I stop him, and Steve says, what if you can't? And Diana says, returning, can't? Can't? Steve says, right, your favorite word. What if you lose? And Diana says, as long as there's life in me, I don't quit. Well, you better make sure Strife doesn't have a fucking bullet to your chest, because then you're totally fucking worthless. Yeah, for people who are just tuning, who didn't, basically as soon as she hit ground, in modern times, as soon as she gets to ground, she gets fucking shot point blank in the chest over bullshit, and she just collapses face first, like just she plops face first on the ground, damn near dead. It was the worst fucking thing I read. It was the worst fucking thing I've read. But anyway, moving on. And Steve says, "Yeah, but I didn't say quit. I said lose. Any idiot can win. Doesn't mean jack till you've done the other thing." Diana says, "Well, I can't do either until I start fighting." And then Steve says, "This guy just pops up everywhere he likes. This guy just pops up wherever he likes. How are you gonna find him?" And Diana says, "I'll do one thing right. Give people something to look up to." What? Oh, a montage. It's a montage. Angle, 3 thugs in a warehouse as they look up in anger and fear, and one is yanked up out of frame by a golden lasso. Diana kicking a thug back 10 feet into a wall. Angle, Diana clotheslines a running thug who flips onto the floor, widened to see interior warehouse night. From above, we see crates of guns. Diana is in the middle of 4 thugs, all whom draw on her simultaneously. Clothes on her face, and she's herself. Exterior day night. Diana is atop the hood of a Humvee. So okay, I'm guessing this is not. This is present day shit. I think. I don't think it's not in the 40s like in the recent film. Like this is modern day. I think this is legit modern day times. Okay, where's the thing? One hand dug into the metal of the hood, and the other arm outstretched. Her lasso is wrapped around a traffic light pole, widened to see she is holding it with all her might as the car screeches in a circle despite the driver's attempt to steer. The vehicle tilts onto 2 wheels before it smashes into a parked car. Diana flying off, flipping in air and landing on her feet. Exterior, same day. Exterior, same later. Exterior, same day later. Okay, Diana has her rope around one of the passengers, and he's talking. Ben is taking notes as Steve and Griffin marvel at the many packs of white powder spilling out of the Humvee's back. Clothes on Ben's pad. The name Clean is being written at the top. Interior dark cellar day. A group of young Asian women huddled in squalor look up as the roof of the cellar is torn off and sunlight streams in. Diana tosses the sheet of metal trafficker looking glumly on. So wait a minute, like they're montage, like, okay. So they are trying to catch Sonic being by, like, she's basically a vigilante at this point, and they're just like montaging right through it, like it's nothing. And supposedly, this is supposed to, like, she came to the conclusion this is what she's supposed to do to get Strife for some reason, for some fucking reason. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. Okay. Interior Steve work this day. Sully is treating some of the women as more are being ushered in. The space is an old-fashioned bullpen pen, no ceiling in a bigger space. The camera arms up to see the big room behind. To see the big room beyond is sleeping a number of homeless people. In one office, Steve and Diana discuss their chalkboard diagram of their chalkboard at the top, which is again clean. Interior, apartment day, a hostage taker is on the phone yelling. Behind him are his terrified wife and children tied and gagged. So yeah, so they're just montaging a bunch of. She's basically Batman, and they're just montaging a bunch of shit instead of getting to the heart of the matter, which is like the big bad guy. See, now if this was the movie, she just would have. Yes. I guess she had other things to. She had other things to tackle before she got there, but that was some. Into the main villain. This is just random shit. This is just random vigilante. The plot decides to, put its attention back on Strife. Well, that's just fucking like really? I mean, like one taking down a coke dealer and shit. I don't know. It just sounds corny. I'm picturing everything. I'm trying to picture it, and it's just not registering with me. But, whatever. Continuing. Exterior apartment, continuing. Low angle on the negotiator talking the guy down, and above him, Diana leaps from the roof opposite to the top of the building. A couple of people see, and everyone starts to crane around to look when the hostage taker comes flying out of the building, fourth-story window. Oh my God! And lands heavily on the fire escape. Exterior street, day. We're behind a fire truck racing to the scene. As it turns the corner, we see this scene is another collapsed building. Exterior building, day. Later, fuck. Firemen rush to a pile of rubble, and the rubble lifts, Diana holding up an entire ceiling as dust-covered people scramble hurriedly out to safety. Interior warehouse nights, and here finally is the second half of the fight, when all the Diana turns whirling dervish, deflecting every single shot with astonishing fluidity. Within 10 seconds, she has every shooter on the floor. Wait, so she just deflects bullets with her bracelets, and that's it? In the movie, she had a shield. Because, eventually she would come up under some heavy fucking firepower. But it is like she blocks every shot with her bracelets. I get it. She's Wonder Woman, but she's not going to be able to deflect everything with bracelets. And especially considering she got shot in the fucking chest, she would definitely need a shield. All right, moving on. Interior, same. Moments later, one of the thugs tries to crawl away, and the golden rope whips around his midsection. Exterior, street, dawn. Diana comes around the corner in a rundown but residential neighborhood. She looks at the sun peeking over the roof and takes a breath. A cute little girl of 10 stands nearby at the bottom of a gnarled tree. She calls out. The girl says, "Lady!" Points up. "My cat is stuck in that tree." Diana looks up. Diana looks up, sees a cat on a branch. She looks back at the girl with dismissive incomprehension. Diana says, "Climb it." A TV with a newscaster on it, a middle-aged female with a picture of the building collapse aftermath and the words Wonder Woman over it. Newscaster says reports have come in from all over the city. Descriptions vary, but all describe her as female and possibly strong. And we are since this takes place in modern day, like in probably the year the script was written. Like, why the fuck? Because apparently she does wear that usual outfit she does, like the warrior outfit. I just don't see news people, at least nowadays, talking about she's scantily clad. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Let's move on. We are pulling back on the TV as they cut to with the male newscaster. Newscaster number 2 says, "So what do you think? Publicity stunts?" And the newscaster says sourly, "Probably. Last time I checked, heroes didn't run around in bustiers." Really? Really? Huh. See, now they're going to, I mean, they've been doing it, Joss Whedon's been doing it throughout the entire script. You know, making men look like shit and horny idiots. But now like, the newscasters are like, oh, since when you hear, this is just like the first few episodes, I swear to God, the same kind of writing. Just terrible, making all the dudes making anyone of the male gender look like a complete asshole. Just because you got a female lead doesn't mean you have to make every man around her a dick. Female empowerment isn't about being a dick and women basically having to deal with that shit. Because Joss Whedon is such a pandery little bitch. He can't even write without being completely black and white. That's how you know when someone's writing is really shitty. They can't help they can't help make this black and white and just stereotypes, throwing in stereotypes and all that shit. That's how you know when it's a really shitty writer. They can't part from stereotypes. Anyway, getting back to it. During this video image of Diana at the fire, which freezes, destroys the TV image. Internal Callus's office, Dave. Widen to see Strife holding the other end of the spear. Callus sitting at her desk calmly. A long beat. Strife says, "Sorry." He's supposed to be some kind of intimidating villain. And he's like, so he throws a bitch fit and throws it, and he's like, "Sorry." Just pulls the spear out. Callus says, I understand exactly how you feel. And Strife says, "Re the spear, and let me put this through something besides her picture." Callus says, "You want to go to war with the entire Amazon nation?" Well, right, of course you do. Well, right, of course you do. But it would seriously crimp our plans. And Strife says, "Does she not anyway?" Like, what? Does Strife control all the fucking crime in the city? I thought he was just one. I thought he was just like one godlike bad guy who just happened to be like, so he controls all the crime. I mean, ugh. Callus says, "Oh yes, that's why I'm sending you back home." Oh no, wait, wrong voice. "I'm sending you back home where we need." And then Strife says, "I'm to run errands now." And Callus says, "Oh no, there's a dream for you. If your uncle tells you you can't kill the girl, there should only be one question in your mind. What for an Amazon is worse than death?" A beat, and then a close-up of Strife's appalling grin. External, the club is classic, trendy. People lined up behind a velvet rope, all trying to get the attention of the bouncer. A huge guy with a headset, a clipboard, and patience for nobody. Our gang is on the street, approaching it. Diana says, nearly every trail I followed leads to this man clean. This is where he's going to be found. Oh, wait, I didn't do the voice. Fuck. Diana says, nearly every trail I followed leads to this man clean. This is where he's to be found. And Steve says, magic lasso confessions hold up in court? Why the fuck is he such a pissy bitch throughout this entire story? Every fucking thing she says, he's got some cash retort. I can stand, like, in the movie, I really like Steve Trevor. Even if he was being played by Chris Pine. But it's like, I want his ass to get a fist upside the head. I can't stand his punk ass. He's always talking shit. He's just constant, always talking shit. Okay, and Diana says, I didn't know I was meant to come here. And then Steve says, been reading the signs? And Diana says, pointing, just the one. The camera pans up from 9 Olympus. Olympus. So that's a symbolism. It's so subtle and such great writing, whatever. Okay, Steve shakes his head, defeated. Diana moves past a waiting girl who becomes indignant, putting her hand on Diana's arm. Indignant girl says, excuse me, who are you? Diana looks at her for a second, drops her arm. They reach the bouncer, who steps in Diana's way. Bouncer says, hold on. Diana says, we're going inside, and the bouncer says, not until I say you are, and I ain't saying it. Looks her over. You wait around an hour. I might take pity because you're so fine, but I knew it was a good bet to say his lines in a black guy's voice, because I knew it'd be some stereotype shit. I knew it would. I'm really good at judging these things. Let me read that over again. He looks her over and he says, you wait around an hour, I might take pity on you. You wait around an hour, I might take pity because you're so fine. But this crew, not gonna happen. And Diana says, I haven't time for this. I'm dead. And the bouncer says, doesn't matter who you are. I'm the bouncer, bitch. Okay. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm the bouncer, bitch. And the first rule of clubbing is you never piss off the bouncer. Interior, just inside the door a bit later. Diana strides into the club, brow furrowed, Steve beside. Diana, I don't get it. And Steve says, what? Diana said, he didn't bounce. All right. I'm not going to lie. That was funny. That part was funny. That was the only legitimate piece of humor that was funny throughout this entire script. I'll give him that. That was funny. Okay, exterior, Olympus, continuing. We see the bouncer unconscious against the cracked windshield of a car. Griffin has his headset and clipboard. Griffin says, okay, guy from the burbs desperately trying to impress his... Oh, God. My Irish accent is fucked up again. Guy from the burbs... Yeah, oh, shit. A guy from the burbs desperately trying to impress his dad. You get on in, T-shirt guy, you too. And yeah, My Irish accent is so fucked up. Two thin supermodel types come up to him. Griffin says, "Go eat something. Go to Arby's. Get some protein. You're frightening me." Really? Arby's. You couldn't have picked a worse restaurant to go to put on to eat for anything to eat. Anyway, interior Olympus continuing. Oh, also that was not funny either. It's crowded and loud. The dance floor is big, packed with a low mirrored ceiling above it. Diana and the other three come to the bar, look around. Angle, Angle. Clean isn't hard to spot. His booth is the boothiest. His posse the scariest. His life the largest. He's every inch the thug made good. A girlfriend is draped over him, clearly high. What the? His booth is the boothiest? See, I say shit like that, but as a joke. Like, as. I say that when I'm just fucking around. I say shit like that when I'm fucking around. Like that's the dumbest thing that ever dumbed or some shit like that. I usually say shit like that to be goofy. But he's got this shit in right smack dab in a movie, a Hollywood movie script. You know, whatever. I'm just if I think about it for too long, I'm gonna get pissed. Okay. Okay, back on our gang, scoping him out. Ben says, "Clean. I don't think that's his Clean. I don't think that's his real name." And Sully says, "Only 4 bodyguards. He can't be so dangerous as all that." And Steve says, "This has to be surgical, Diana. Those guys start shooting. The stampede alone will kill people." Diana is looking at Clean with deadly focus. She moves through the crowd. Steve says, "Diana, did you? Damn it!" To the others. He says to the others, "Get near the exit." Diana comes the edge of Clean's. There's so many fucking words missing. Diana comes to the edge of Clean's little enclave. A bodyguard starts to move in her way, and she jabs him hard in the shoulder, causing him to keel over in silent agony. The other three pull their guns, but keep them pointed down. Clean, smiling, says, I guess you want to see me." He throws the girlfriend. He throws the girlfriend off the stands. Diana says nothing, just looks at him. Clean, continuing, "I keep hearing my products getting jacked by some crazy strong bitch in a tiara." I keep let me repeat that. "I keep hearing my products getting jacked by some crazy strong bitch in a tiara." Some crazy strong bitch in a tiara. Somebody, please edit a Wonder Woman poster with that tagline on it. Please. Please say Wonder Woman. Some crazy strong bitch in a tiara. I think that would be hilarious. I'm just saying. If anyone's listening who's got some ideas, like, get on that. Seriously. It'd be hilarious. Okay, let me continue. That couldn't be you. Because here you are, too scared to speak. It's sad. The way a funeral is sad. You up in my world now. Oh, God. Oh. It's sad, like a funeral sad. What the fuck is this dialogue? Was it what the fuck is this dialogue? I need to know. Was Joss Whedon high off his fucking ass when he wrote this? The girlfriend slinks up on him, and the girlfriend says, What are you talking to her? I need a little sugar." I'm guessing she means drugs and not like a kiss on the cheek. Clean says, "Get your skank ass off of me while I'm doing business." Get your skank ass off of me. Oh my god. I can't handle this shit. This is too shitty for words. Oh boy. Get your skank ass off of me while I'm doing business. Okay, hang on a second. Get your skank ass off of me. Okay, and then the girlfriend says, "Honey," and Diana says, "You can do better." Really? The girl looks at Diana, surprised. Clean is not pleased. Hand slides to his gun. And Clean says, "What do you say to her?" What the fuck cares? You got a chick in your face with godlike powers who's been fucking up your business, and you're worried about what he might have whispered to her? Get the fuck out of here. And Diana says, I was talking to you. Wait, what? He looks uncertain, and she begins speaking low, quick, hypnotic. And Diana says, continuing, "This isn't your world," indicates the club. What of this did you create? Somebody else told you how to succeed, what to want, what to wear, what to kill, who to be. Diana continued, "And you made it because you're tougher than the other man. You're smarter than the other man. Getting the edge, making the edge, defying everybody's laws to become exactly what they want you to be. There was a you before you, and there'll be a you to kill you off. That bothers you. Not because you're afraid of death, but because you are smart enough to see past all of this. And you know that real power is in connection, in community. Immortality is in legacy. You know the things you truly need are not the things you buy or take. Or not the things you buy or take. You can do better. You can do good." A beat. Clean looks genuinely furious. Clean says, "You got no understanding at all." He gets in her face. A beat. Clean's continuing, "Go have yourself a drink. You mess around with my business or make any more long ass speeches in my face, I'ma riddle you with holes. We cool?" Could you imagine this fucking conversation going down with Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman and some other fucking character? You can't fucking. It's completely. It's just so. It's unfathomable. It's unfathomable. She turns to walk away. Steve trailing. Clean sits as he talks to his boys. Clean, continuing, says, "Girl likes the sound of her voice." Her bodyguards, "Walk it off, man. Walk it off." Steve and Diana arrive back at the bar where Griffin has joined the others. Steve says, "That's it. The crime lord of the whole everything. He gets a pep talk." And then Ben says, I thought we were trying to avoid gunplay." And Steve says, "But a little lasso action. This guy's probably connected to Strife." And Diana says, "Probably connected to Strife," which leads me to ask, like, what the fuck were you doing all that swashbuckling and vigilante shit for then? You should be worried about getting his ass. And what the fuck does an otherworldly god have to do with crime in some shitty ass city? It just didn't make any fucking sense. I mean, yeah, Ares, the god of war, was in disguise as some general or some shit. I don't remember. But like, yeah, he started a whole fucking world war. That's big potatoes right there. Like, that's some big shit. That's no joke. But like, what Strife? What does he do? He outsources through street crime. Huh? Wait, what? That's nothing. How is he supposed to take over the world doing that shit? Moving on. Diana says, I have a feeling about him. And Steve says, this is why I can't leave you alone. You dress that guy down. You dress that guy down in front of his crew, and it doesn't go your way. Diana says, looking around, the signs don't point to clean. And Steve says, then what are we doing here? And then Griffin, proffering beers, says, well, I'm celebrating, people. We've been doing some big ass good, and we earned a little swagger. And Sully said, or was Sully the Irishman? I don't fucking remember. Oh my god, who cares? Sully says, that we did. That we did. Sorry, that we did. And the bartender comes up. The bartender comes up to them with a small glass of red wine. The bartender says, for the lady. And Steve goes, is that from clean? Don't drink that. Bartender says, it's from upstairs. Diana, hang on a second. Just a brief intermission. I have hiccups once again. Fuck. Okay, I'm back. All refreshed and hiccups free. Okay, let's get back to this fucking cancer. Diana looks over where the bartender indicates. Angle, the stairs are roped off. A guy quietly turning away. A young hick. A guy quietly turning away a young hip couple. Diana takes the glass. She looks at it, takes a sip, and drains the entire thing, puts it down, looking thoughtful. Diana says, I have to dance. Without another word, she moves from them, walking easily through the crowded dancing floor. Griffin says to Steve, you gonna dance with her, man? And Steve says, me? Why would I? He turns to the bar, deliberately not looking. Diana reaches the middle of the floor. She raises her arm and holds still, turning her palm in and brings her arm down with ritualistic rigidity. rigidity. This could go very badly. Oh, it already. I think we're a little early with that. It's already pretty bad. Then she moves her leg back and turns fluidly, a curve rippling up her body as she folds into a dance that is sensual, ethereal, and wicked sexy. She is not a warrior. Oh shit. This is not a warrior march, though it remains idiosyncratic. No, idiosyncratic. Fuck. It is neither out of place nor unnoticed on the crowded floor. Angle, Griffin, and Ben watch enraptured. Ben says, "Are you watching this?" And Ben, big-eyed, "It's like Christmas." Oh God, really, really, fucking really. Oh Jesus. Angle, Steve stands at the bar, but his eyes are on the mirror where he can see her just as well as anyone. He would never admit he's entranced. Of course he wouldn't. Because he's a fucking dick. He's been a dick throughout this whole thing. Angle Diana from above as she dances, the camera tilting down to reveal that it was on the mirrored ceiling, and we are actually at eye level with her. As she continues to move, the beat gets fiercer, and so does Diana, shaking and tossing her hair. Euro trashy guy moves to her, but she turns unseeing. Oh God, are we really doing this cliche ass bullshit? Let me guess. This greasy guy rubs all up on her. He gets all handsy. Steve, who was completely trying not to acknowledge her existence throughout the entire situation, notices that she's being hassled by this greasy asshole. So he decides, hey, you stop that! He steps in and beat the guy's ass, and for some reason, Diana temporarily doesn't know how to kick ass because you gotta let Steve jump in and save her fucking ass. And then after they beat his ass, or either Steve beats the guy's ass or they both do, whichever. Then he decides to fucking dance with her, and let me guess, they probably both of them probably get drunk, go back up to the hotel room or wherever the fuck they're at, and they either fuck or they're just in bed together, and they just fell asleep in bed together, and they thought they fucked or some shit like that. How much do I bet? I bet money. I bet serious fucking money. That's exactly how it's gonna go. Let's keep reading and find out, shall we? You're interested in seeing a Rasta guy nudges out Euro, who grabs him as the dance gets more frantic. Rasta gives Euro a shove, sends him flying back, but slowly everything is moving slowly. Diana stops. Everyone save her, huh? Everyone save her is slowing. Or is everyone saying her is slowing to a dead stop. Some in midair, and everywhere there is a strange silence. Diana looks around. sees the angle of the stairs as the intimidating club guy looking right at her. He unhooks the rope, stepping to one side. Diana makes her way toward him, curious as the camera follows through the still throng. The still throng till Diana reaches the stairs, passing the club worker who puts the rope back. Who puts the rope back, and the rope latches back, and real time starts again. Everything continuing as it was. The interior green room moments later. Diana enters a huge, lush, but quirky private room, colorful and retro. It's like its occupant who stands with his back to her at the bar mixing a drink. As she crosses towards him, the camera rises to show that the floor is the other side of the one-way mirror on the dance floor coiling. On the dance floor ceiling. Diana almost appears to be in midair as she walks over to the writhing crowd. Bacchus. Without turning, I like that you knew you needed to. I like that you knew you needed to dance for me, and it was worthy. I mean, for a girl who's never seen Soul Train, even once you can bend a bit. It's pleasing to me, but not nearly as pleasing as the way you handled Clean. Fingers on triggers and you throw down like a badass motivational speech. Not gonna do squat, but heavy kudos. A good surprise is really hard to come by. This fucking dialogue. Ugh. He turns, holding a drink with an umbrella. He's funky, unassuming, cute in a sheepish kind of way. For all the goof, though, there's steel in his. For all the goof, though, there's steel in his smile. The guy is a god. Bacchus, continuing, and you were a surprise, Diana says, bows her head. Dionysus. Bacchus says, Bacchus, the Romans. They came and changed all our names. How random is that? Okay, so wait. This dude is Dionysus? Why are all these gods just popping up out of fucking nowhere? Bacchus continues. A lot of the gods wouldn't go for it, but I like Bacchus. It swings. Diana says, I was told the gods were dead. And then Bacchus says, it doesn't swing. Yeah, well, most of them are. Diana says, Athena? And Bacchus goes, deader than Elvis. Off her hook. Deader than Elvis. Who's a guy that's dead after your time? Explaining. A god exists because people believe in it. Worship. Worship is a thing. Goddess of wisdom not hanging in, not today. Raises his drink, but nobody ever stopped worshiping wine. Diana says, or war, and Bacchus says, nodding. Ares, yes, it's his world now. I mean, Aphrodite's still looking good, but not for publication. I think she's had some work done. Anyway, also, she's out of her mind. Diana says, this whole world is mad. And Bacchus says, you're not wrong. Diana says, and you do nothing. Worse, I've seen what you provide to people out there, and it's a good lot stronger than wine. They're crippled by lusts and addictions, and you use all your power to do what? Watch and laugh? And Bacchus says, you're a feisty little filly. Let me ask you this. He picks her up with one hand and slams her into the bar. Doesn't even spill his drink. Why the fuck? This is at every fucking turn. Someone's knocking her ass out, or chewing her out, or just being a total fucking asshole. What the hell's going on? Like shit, fuck. Oh, okay. Bacchus says, continuing, "Are you a god?" Holding her down. "'Cause I am, and I'm used to being addressed like one." And Diana says, struggling to speak, "Why, why am I here?" He lets her up. Bacchus says, "Eras, he's not playing by the rule." Eras, he's not playing by the rules. He strolls away as she rises, coughing. He's casual again. Diana says, "What rules does a god have?" And Bacchus says, "Why does nobody get this? Why does no one get this? I'm a god, yeah, but I'm also only a god. Wine and revelry, it can bring men together or tear them apart. I can't choose which. Humans choose. More and more, they choose blindness. They choose hate and isolation. It's major mojo for Eras. And he wants more where that came from." And Diana says, "There is war everywhere. Why would Ares need more?" And Bacchus says, "Why do billionaires cheat on their taxes?" He gives her a shrug. It's answer enough. Diana says, "And you can't stop him because it's against the rules." Bacchus says, back in the day, Zeus wanted to manifest in animal form for some hot girl on swan action. It wasn't that big a deal. It's trickier now. I come down to party, but that's it. Eris doesn't come at all." Basically, Zeus raped would like change into certain forms and rape random women. So yeah, that's a nice like this is I'm sure kids were eventually going to go out and see this movie. So yeah, nice throwing like a little. I got nothing against rape jokes, but like this is I mean technically this is going to be like a family movie. Kids are going to go see it, especially little girls, and it's kind of improper to joke about like uh, gods going around transforming into fucking animals and raping women. I mean, it's kind of tacky, but that's just me. Diana says, "But he has Strife," and Bacchus says, "Heard you two been mixing it up. Pretty intense. Guy's not a featherweight." And Diana says, "Then where is he? Why doesn't he challenge me?" And then Bacchus says, "Is that what your life? Is that what your little crime? Is that what your little crime busting spree is all about? Rifling Strife? You got to be thinking bigger than that." Yeah, no fucking shit. Pointing that out in your own fucking script doesn't necessarily make it better. Diana says impatiently, "Tell me what you brought me here to tell me." And then Bacchus says, "You are so, you are so, you, you are so much like your mom. Have you ever heard the name Spearhead?" She shakes her head. "You've seen the building, tall shaped like some guy seriously overcompensating." Well, that's Ares's base. Technology, which means weapons. The best and latest. And that's just their day job. Their misery. Ares stepping over the line, and I think Germany's gonna be his footprint. And Diana says, "Why do you care?" And Bacchus says, and, oh, and Bacchus says, "I lost New Orleans. Think about that. Besides, I like this place, just like you do. It's lively." Diana says, "Spearhead, what am I looking for?" And Bacchus says, "Archibella Callis. She runs the joint. Direct conduit to Ares. She's like Medea without the maternal warmth. You want to get near her." Looks her over. "Might need a more subtle look. Your boyfriend can help you with that." And Diana says, "I don't have a who?" And Bacchus says, "The pilot, Trevor." Before she can protest, he says, "Don't even bother, Diana. What's happening between you two isn't chance. It was predicted by the oracles a millennia ago." Really? How many cliches you gonna throw at this shit? And Diana, she's just such a fucking idiot. It's like, there's nothing remarkable about her character at all. Like she mostly just asks questions, getting slapped around by a dude, and like she's either disrespected, asking questions, getting slapped by a dude, or just completely just like around, playing second fiddle to Steve Trevor. And that's it. Like she's not. I don't see any actress playing this bitch. Like I can't see definitely can't see Gal Gadot playing this bitch. I just can't. Because she's such a lame, like the Wonder Woman in this script is such a lame ass fucking character. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, it was predicted by the oracles a millennia ago. A millennia ago. And Diana says, "It was?" And Bacchus says, snorting, "But check your face when I said it." Oh, he was joking. My bad. "No, but check out your face when I said it. There's something going on." And Diana says, "He's a good man." Bacchus says, "He's beneath you." She stiffens at the insult. Bacchus continuing, "No, I mean literally. He's there." Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful joke. He points down and she looks. Angle. Steve seen from above through the floor, searching through the crowd for searching through the crowd for her. Bacchus says, continuing, "I like the guy. Kind of crabby, but he's in there. He's fighting. Could be useful, or he could seriously get in the way." She looks up at Bacchus. He's clearly serious now. Oh, hang on one second. Oh, okay. Bacchus says, continuing, war has casualties. Gotta know what you're willing to trade. A moment passes. Diana says, thanks for the drink. She goes and the camera pulls away from Bacchus. Bacchus says, wasn't that cool? I'm working on another one that makes everything intensely sort of plaid. I'll hook you up. External Spearhead afternoon. The building towers over us with gleaming phallic grandeur. The head of security approaches a guard as another talks with people inside a car. Head of security says, we do retinal on every guest, no exceptions. And the guard says, they're really beefing it up. Head of security says, well, that's not your business. A guard says sheepishly, oh my god, sir, sir, or sir, I don't know. The head of security fades. The head of security fades back. The head of security fades back in front of the bushes, watching the road. A golden rope whips out of the bushes and around his waist. He's pulled back and he's pulled back in faster than he can blink. Mm. He hits the ground, the lasso still around his chest. He goes for his gun, but Diana shoves him back to the ground. Steve says, "Hi, we need some access codes." Internal Spearhead walkway day. The camera pans up a pair of high heels, tight skirt, tightly buttoned professional woman with her hair tied back and round glasses on. It's a classic look. In fact, it's Diana Prince next to a Natalie Padley suited Steve, whatever. Next to a suited Steve. They come out of the elevator at the executive level, head for Callus's office. Steve, looking around, says, "God of War make God of War makes weapons. Talk about hide in plain sight." Diana says, Why should he hide? Nobody bothers to look." Steve says, "Well, we're looking and we're just looking, Kay. Remember when you found Clean and just had a chat? That was good. Let's chase that feeling." Mm. Diana says, "I won't fight unless I won't fight unless I won't fight unless it's time to." And Steve says dryly, "Right." Interior assistant's office moments later. He's young and square jawed. He's young and square jawed, a comer. He looks up as they enter. Steve says, "Hi, Steve Trainer and Diana Prince." Assistant says, "I'm sorry." Steve says, "I think we're early. If I could just get a water, that'd be great still." The assistant says, "Sure, just let me check my book." He reaches under the drawer. Diana grabs his head and smacks it down on the desk brutally fast. He's out. Steve says, "My water thing was working." And Diana says, feeling under the drawer, "He was going to call the guards." Surprised. Surprised. Oh, and she pulls a gun. She pulls a gun with a silencer out from under the drawer. Diana, continuing, "I was wrong." Interior Callus's office moments later. As the doors smash open, Diana and Steve behind them reverse on Callus sitting calmly at her desk. Callus says, "Well, that's a bit much." Diana whips her lasso out around Callus's neck. Callus looks down at it calmly. Diana says, "Let's talk." And Steve, and Steve says, "And hands where I can see them." Callus says, "Ari lasso, weaved by the oracles of Delphi, blessed by Athena, am I right?" And Diana says, "So you serve Ares?" And Callus says, "Oh, yes." Steve asks, "What? Why? Does it work if I ask stuff?" And Callus says, "His power is practically limitless, and he has chosen me to run his empire on Earth. Do you know what that makes me?" And Steve says, "The bad guy." And Diana says, um, "What are you planning to do? What are you planning to do to Gateway?" And Callus says, "Destroy it." Her calm shakes Diana a little. There is real vulnerability to the questions. Diana asks, "Why?" And Callus says, "Because we can. People above them People get above themselves and they need to be reminded how fragile they are. All the wars and all the weapons that we can manufacture will never be as blessed as mass mindless fear. Gateway will be the first of many great cities to collapse, and we will enter a golden age of fear and apathy, and everybody in the world will do as they're told." She has them wrapped and she knows it. She smiles. Callus says, continuing, "Plus, it'll really help out with some zoning issues." Oh, humor is. Um, Diana says, How are you gonna do it?" And then Callus says, You should have asked that first." Steve. Oh shit. Diana dives into Steve, knocking him to the ground as gunfire erupts from behind them. 6 heavily, almost science fictionally armed guards are taking positions just outside the room. Callus stands, free of the lasso. Callus says, continuing to the guards, You could have been quicker." A guard starts into the room and Diana kicks the door from the door, swinging it into his face with riot mask shattering force. She leaps up and grabs Callus, holding the rope to her throat. Diana says, "Is there another way out?" And Callus puts her hand on the painting and the tapestry rises. The steel door lowers behind them. Diana kicks the desk so hard it goes through the doorway and part of the wall, knocking down a couple more shooters. Diana says, continuing to Steve, "Go!" Into the war room. Gunfire makes Diana let go of Callus, who pitches forward as Diana follows Steve out. Interior Spearhead war room continuing. Diana and Steve race through Diana and Steve race through the other door, everyone staring at them stupidly, till gunfire makes everyone in the room duck and cover. A burst nearly gets them. Diana deflects, but they're forced to take cover behind a console. Diana grabs a couple of computer disks and whips them at the guards. One cracks a faceplate, one digs into a forearm, and 2 guards are out of the game. Diana says, "No." He runs low. She follows, deflecting a couple of shots, and a tech guy bolts from his hiding place, freaking colliding with Diana. The guards fire indiscriminately. Close on the tech guy as he jolts with 3 impacts, looking at Diana. Diana in bewildered pain. He drapes himself on her as she stumbles back, thrown. He dies staring at her. Steve pulls out the door to the prayer chamber as she looks up at the guards in rage, deflecting the last few shots almost automatically. Interior prayer chamber continuing. The hanging statue of Ares looms over them as they enter. Steve is looking for a way to bar the door. Steve says, "This thing doesn't lock." And a still stunned Diana looks up into the grotesque eyes of the hanging Ares statue right above her. She whips the rope around her. She whips her rope around its middle and heaves, bringing the thing down onto the floor. She pushes it against the door, its marble head smashing into dust as it hits. We hear thuds and shots from the other side, but the door isn't budging now. Interior silo continuing. The silo is empty and Steve nearly plummets over the railingless edge. The drop seems endless. There are walkways at various levels, but no stairs. All about them, various machines come to life, designed for repair, welding and bolting, most of them attached to the walls. They reach out and start firing bolts, lasers, and some insectile repair bots crawl menacing down at them from above, wielding saws and pinchers. What? Steve says, "What the hell is this place?" And Diana says, "Hold on to me." He grabs her around the waist and shoulder, leaving her arms free. Steve says, "Oh, I hate this a lot." They step off the edge and plummet down the seemingly endless shaft. At the last second, Diana whips out her lasso and hooks it onto the lowest platform. They swing onto the wall, Diana taking the brunt of the impact. Okay, I'm going to stop here because for some reason I'm already losing my fucking voice reading this shit. And nothing's really nothing of fucking happening right now. They have already been going on for maybe about 3 hours. Maybe that long, maybe 2 hours. But yeah, I'm going to pack it in here. And, I'm probably going to be at this tomorrow again. Maybe, I don't know. I might work on something else. I might be working on something else tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure, but yep, I'm going to stop here and call it a night. I'm already on page 82. So we only got maybe a little more than 30 pages left of this bullshit. So yeah, bye everybody, and thanks for watching. Yeah, bye. Bye.